day to you, my Texas farming and ranching neighbor. And welcome back down that pecan tree lined lane, through the screen door, into Down on the Farm's kitchen. Sit down with me, Larry Marble, at Down on the Farm's kitchen table, and we're going to talk about all the things that are affecting agriculture today on Down on the Farm Radio's live stream program, heard on Facebook, on YouTube, and on our website. Of course, today's program is for the 8th day of June 2020. Let's take a look at ag weather for a couple of locations within our region. Let's go north and east a bit to Giddings. You folks up there in KGID country, you're going to see a partly sunny sky, 97 the high, 76 the low. Neighbor, let's head up to Mason, where we've got another Down on the Farm affiliate station, KHLB Mason. Sunny today, 99 the high, 75 the low. Neighbor, let's go quite a ways north up to the northwestern corner of Down on the Farm country to Abilene. That's KLGD 1069, the Country Giant Country, another great affiliate. Sunny today, 99 the high, 75 the low. Let's drop over to San Angelo, where KMLS and KPEP simulcast Down on the Farm 4 times a day. Sunny today, 102 the high, 75 the low. Drop down to Kerrville, where the good folks at the Ranch Radio, KRNH, are going to have a high of 105 under the sun, 74 early tomorrow morning is the low. And dropping down to Corpus Christi for our final forecast. The good folks in Corpus Christi, listening to 97.5 Real Country, KFTX, you're going to have a sunny day, 99 the high and 73 the low. Neighbor, there's your region's ag weather. Neighbor, now let's take a look at our commodities, remembering, neighbor, that this is just a picture of a price in time. You don't need to use this to make a trade. Consult your broker if you need to do that. July corn, 332 3/4, up 1.5. July beans, 864 3/4, down 3. Your July Kansas City hard red winter wheat contracts down 1 at 460 1/4. July crude down 124 at 38.30. August gold up 1470 at $1,697.70 by the ounce. August live cattle up 22.50 at 96.40. August feeder cattle down 72.5 at 133.45. July lean hogs up a dime at 54.02. Your June class 3 milk contract up 1 at 19.87. December number 2 cotton down 50 at 60.48. Your June U.S. dollar index down 232 points at 96.69. Neighbor, there are your commodities of ag interest, as close to the noon hour as we can get them. Neighbor, now it's time for a look at retail beef prices from Tom Nicoletti on today's edition of Texas News and Views from the Texas Farm Bureau Radio Network. Tom, tell us what you know.
Disruptions in the supply chain caused a temporary shortage of beef in some grocery stores and higher prices. How is the retail beef sector doing now? TFB Network's Jessica Domel has an update.
You're more than a rancher. You do what's right and trust others to do the same. That's the Texas way. Hi, I'm Pat McDowell, and we ranch near Shamrock, Texas. In 2019, your dollars helped the beef-loving Texans brand reach consumers nearly 300 million times. Efforts like the hit Hulu series BarbecQuest and successful advertising prove that your checkoff is working hard to keep beef in its strongest state. Find out more at TexasBeefCheckoff.com, funded by the Texas Beef Council.
We're joined today by Russell Woodward, a senior manager for the Texas Beef Council.
It has been a wild roller coaster ride since mid-March, with panic buying that occurred then and the continued closure of restaurants. So some of the trends that we have seen is that beef and meat sales at the grocery store have remained strong across all of those weeks. As a matter of fact, the last 10 weeks, each week has been similar to a holiday week at retail, with double-digit increases over previous year in both volume as well as dollars. For example, through the end of May this year, total ground beef sales at retail have increased by over $1 billion over the same time period last year. That just indicates that people still are consuming their protein products, including beef, and they're going to the grocery store to buy that. During that time period, we have seen those bottlenecks occur in our supply capacity, which caused retailers to put limits on some products in the meat department. And even with those limits that some have been eased now in the last week or two, they have still seen in this past week a 24% increase in meat department sales and an 18% increase in volume. So consumers are continuing to clamor the meat department.
Those are nationwide statistics provided by 210 Analytics. Early on in the pandemic, there were some issues as consumers were panic buying beef. That, combined with some beef processors reducing capacity to ensure employee safety and other issues, led to shortages and purchase restrictions at some retailers. That also led to some price changes.
As we came into Memorial Day, I think retailers a few weeks prior to that, as they were securing their products for those sales weeks, kind of went into panic buying mode themselves a little bit and certainly drove the wholesale price of beef higher. Those increased wholesale prices have been passed on to consumers. So in April, we did see an increase in retail prices. Even so, consumers continue to purchase the product. I believe as we start to fill that supply chain back up, get caught back up with our retailers, we've got about a month here between Memorial Day and July 4th to get the system kind of back to a better place, that those prices, retail prices, will start to ease at the retail counter, even though they've been up here in April and in May.
The most popular product for consumers now and year-round is ground beef.
Other items have held their own, as we came into that grilling time period. Certainly ribeyes and shoulder steaks and sirloins were popular, as they were a little bit more reasonably priced, say, than maybe a tenderloin or a strip steak. And so those performed well over the Memorial Day holiday. But ground beef has certainly outperformed them all year to date.
That was Russell Woodward for the Texas Beef Council.
In Texas, there's pea-size hail and baseball-size hail. Guess which one hit our house? We didn't even know where to begin, but we called our Texas Farm Bureau insurance agent, and he was so reassuring. He knew exactly what to do to get our house back into shape and our lives back to normal. Now, we're even more thankful for the roof over our heads.
Visit Texas Farm Bureau Insurance today at tfbinsurance.com to insure your home for Texas-size weather. Coverage and discounts are subject to qualifications and policy terms and may vary by situation.
6 F-35A fighter jets, 1 NFL team, a trip to the moon, all have $1 billion price tag. Something else that costs $1 billion? Respiratory challenges in cattle each year. It's time to fight back against costly respiratory challenges. That's why Purina starter feeds are formulated with RX3 immune support technology. It boosts calves' natural defenses, priming their immune systems from the start. Talk to your Purina rep to learn more.
This is Texas News and Views. I'm Tom Nicoletti with the Texas Farm Bureau Radio Network.
Neighbor, I think I can smell chicken fried steak, jalapeno gravy, some of Nanny's yeast rolls, and a cold cucumber salad. Glass of iced tea, cup of coffee, soda water, whichever you prefer. Neighbor, while Hop Sing ladles it all up, let's talk to Russell Heller from Lexington Livestock Commission Company. He had a sale Saturday in Lexington. Russell, eat with us and tell us how that sale went.
Yes, sir. We had 595 total head with 60 cows.
Let's walk the pens.
Okay. On the packer cows, the thinner ones brought 35 to 50, and the better cows brought 51 to 71. On the 3 to 4 pound steering bulls, 115 to 175, 4 to 5 weights, 110 to 160. 5 to 6 weights, $1.05 to 150. 6 to 7 weights, $1 to 130. On the heifers, 3 to 4 pound heifers, 110 to 150. 4 to 5 weights, 105 to 140. 5 to 6 weights, $1 to 125. 6 to 700 pounders, 95 to 115.
What do we know for this next week?
Yes, sir. One man's going to have about 35 or 40 black calves that are already weaned, and another guy's supposed to have around 50 crossbred calves that are weaned.
Well, good. That'll be for this next sale, this next Saturday at Lexington. Russell, tell everybody how to get a hold of you.
Yes, sir. You can get me on my cell phone, and that number is 979-820-7002.
Neighbor Lute's Auction Service has got a big farm and ranch equipment auction June the 13th in D'Hanis, 830-931-4312. Highway 90 west between Hondo and D'Hanis, 7 miles west of Hondo, and 1 mile east of D'Hanis on the south side of Highway 90. Call 830-931-4312. Auction starts at 9 a.m. Tractors like a John Deere 8420, 2 John Deere 4430s. Here's a John Deere 2440. How about a John Deere 310 backhoe? How about a John Deere 980 field cultivator? Here's a John Deere 8300 grain drill. Here's a John Deere 450 grain drill. How about an Adams fertilizer spreader or a New Holland 575 square baler? Here's a K-line irrigation with about 40 pods. Here's a Bermuda King 4-row Sprigger. How about a John Deere 485 backhoe attachment? Here's a CM Gooseneck cargo trailer. How about a Pioneer hay wagon or a New Holland manure spreader? 9 a.m. Lute's Auction Service D'Hanis, 7 miles west of Hondo, 1 mile east of D'Hanis on the south side of the highway. Call 830-931-4312. Check them out on Facebook at Lutz Auction D'Hanis or at auctionzip.com, Lutz Auction Service D'Hanis. And remember, folks, check them out on Facebook. Follow them. Great auction deals all the time. Lutz Auction Service D'Hanis. Neighbor, as we look toward what the cattle market might be this week, let's look and see and examine some of the confusion we saw last week. Sometimes observers look at a fed price and see what they think is a market. Markets are made through a bid and ask process. Viewing current prices for fed cattle are not market prices, but price awards made by the packers and can vary as much as $15 a hundredweight from day to day. Those cattle owners that sold at 117 and 118 early last week were lucky, while those that waited till Friday sold at $1. Neither price was the result of traditional negotiation, but rather a tacit agreement on price. Piecing this randomized price awarding pattern into meaningful market information is impossible. Trading ranges for the week have been from $1 to $118 live and $170 to $187 dressed. The main change in trading patterns has been the occurrence of daily transactions in most areas. The pre-virus practice of wide bid-ask spread all week, followed by the bulk of trade on Friday, has disappeared. Cattle owners welcome the change, but the concern of all producers is what is likely to come in the next few weeks or months as the backlog of cattle weighs upon the market. Neighbor, when you hear Big River on a Monday, during the noon hour, it's time to talk to Ken Jordan about the results of that special cow sale he had at San Saba on Saturday. Ken, I understand it was a humdinger.
We had right at 2,034 head on Saturday, and that was our female replacement sale. Buyers were on hand from Alabama, Oklahoma, all across Texas. I think we had 684 also on the internet. Large offering of pairs sold. I think over 500-something pair were there. But the young pairs in good flesh, they were selling from $1,550 up to $1,850. We did one group of tiger stripes that brought $2,200. I thought the solid mouth pairs and some of the thinner and maybe smaller young pairs, they went from $1,100 up to $1,475. The bred cows were in very strong demand, especially those fall Kevin cows. The younger pleasure cows that were bringing pretty well from $1,200 up to $1,750. Some of the solid mouth cows and maybe some young cows, they'd pulled some calves off just recently carrying less flesh. They sold anywhere from $875 up to $1,250. The bred heifers ranged from $1,025 up to $1,675, depending on the size, kind, and pregnancy. The higher end were mostly all fall Kevin on that on those heifers. A really choice set of open and exposed heifers. We had several deals of exposed heifers that have been bulls maybe for 45 to 60 days. And the open heifers, they were all on hand. I thought overall the bigger, longer age heifers, they sold basically from $900 up to $1,350, depending on the kind and size and the length of time they've been with the bulls. I thought overall the younger, lighter weight heifers, they sold basically from $710 up to $875, depending on kind and weight. So overall, very good sale, very active, and we got a lot of good activity from all of our buyers, especially those on the internet too, Larry.
Well, tell everybody how to get a hold of you.
You bet. Give us a call. There, code 325-372-5159. You want more detailed information on that market report from Saturday, go to our website, Larry, at jordancattle.com.
We're talking with Scott Stanislaw, technical agronomist for DeKalb, Asgrow, and Delta Pine in South Texas. Scott, I know this cotton crop is growing quick this year.
And this crop's really starting to take off and in some of these areas where rainfall's been abundant. And so it's one thing to consider is obviously a grower needs to be thinking about cotton PGRs and growth management.
So how will a farmer know when it's time to put out that growth regulator, Scott?
So I really like to use the method of when I walk into a field, kind of what I call the maximum internode distance. And the way to do that, and a grower can do this very easy, is walk out in the field. And basically, you're looking at the distance between the fourth and fifth node from the actual terminal. So starting at the top of the plant and counting down. So you're looking between the fourth and fifth node, and that's actually the area of the plant that's most sensitive to current growth. And so it's actually elongating there at the most rapid rate. And so if you're starting to get 3 inches or more of internode distance there at that particular point, plant growth regulator is probably warranted at that point.
Scott Stanislaw, technical agronomist for DeKalb, Asgrow, and Delta Pine.
Neighbor, doesn't that windmill sound funny to you? I bet those leathers are wearing out. Let me go out and replace them right quick while y'all talk to Kenny Mingus from Milam County Livestock Auction, Cameron. He sold them Friday. Kenny, how'd it go?
Well, it turned out pretty good, Larry. We wound up with 1,758 cattle. Out of that mix, we had probably about 350 to maybe 400 cows.
Good. Let's walk the pens.
All right. We'll start with the steer cattle under 300, 148 to 240. 3 to 400 pound steers, 139 to $1.82. 400 to 500 pound steers 126 to 165, and over 570 to $1.45. On your heifer cattle, under 300, 127 to 250. 300 to 400 pound heifers 116 to 153. 400 to 500 pound heifers 105 to 141, and over 560 to $1.29. Packer cows, they took a little money off, but still rather active, from 35 to 70 cents. Packer bulls 70 to 97. On your stocker cows from 350 to 10 1/4, and on your cow calf pairs from 575 to 1650.
Good. Now, what are we anticipating for this week's sale, Kenny?
Well, we've had a few calls. If you've seen the forecast, it's going to be like a little Texas weather here.
Right.
So I think they'll kind of get around and might get a few of these calves, the bigger end that's kind of ready to sell. Don't have a lot lined up yet, but it's still early in the week, so hopefully we can have another good run.
Speaking of Texas weather, how's your corn and cotton and milo looking up there?
Tell you, it looks pretty good. I visited with a few farmers that came in last week, and consensus that I got out of them said they need one more rain, just to finish it out. Don't have to have it to make a good crop is what they're saying, but if they were to get it here in the next, they were talking, pretty quick here, that it would sure put the icing on the cake.
Good deal.
The cotton, it's off to a good start from what I've heard. I heard of some cotton that got some hail damage and just wiped it out, and they're having to replant some of that, but other than that, it's still pretty early for it.
Well, tell everybody how to get a hold of you.
You bet. Just catch us here at the barn Monday through Wednesday from about 9 to 3 at 254-697-6697. You can follow us on our webpage at MilamCountyLivestockAuction.com or catch us on Facebook. We're available to receive cattle starting at Thursday at 8 a.m. and Fridays at 7.
We appreciate you, and we'll talk with you later in the week and see how things are progressing.
You bet. Thank you, and have a great week, Larry.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
McCoys.com, McCoys Building Supply, still family-owned, strong, growing, and relevant for our ag community. Farm and ranch panels and gates, field fencing, welded wire panels, barbed wire and electric fencing. Shop online and find products and the store near you at McCoys.com. Neighbor, now it's time to catch up with Leo Casas. Leo, how are you today?
Doing good, Larry. Well, predictably, grass conditions are just absolutely superb. Everywhere we've got cattle, I presume, over most of the state also. And getting ready to start cutting some hay, and we'll be off to McGregor tomorrow to our ranch in Central Texas to deliver some lease bulls to a customer. Speaking of which, we do have plenty of good bulls available for lease or sale. Don't wait too long. They're going pretty fast. If we don't have them, we can find them. I can be reached at 361-362-5863. Keep up with us on a daily basis on Instagram, Casas Cattle _rancher 3, or log on to my website for photos, videos, and information, CasasCattle.com, CASAS, CasasCattle.com. We're the bull people.
Neighbor, cotton's important to Texas, so let's talk cotton right quick. According to DTN, after trading its 50% retracement last week on strong volume, the cotton market's starting this new week lower. Of course, the week will be filled with a ton of fundamental reports, including Monday's crop progress report later today, Thursday's export sales and supply and demand, and finally on Friday, options for spot July are going to expire. The current impetus is for traders to take a little profit or initiate some bearish hedges. Weather-wise, West Texas will see no rain for the next 7 days. Further out, forecasts call for below normal rainfall also, but above normal temperatures. It is the opposite situation from the Delta and the Southeast. In those areas, capricious amounts of rainfall from Tropical Storm Cristobal have left many fields standing in water. There was an interesting turn in key fundamentals for the market on Friday. The CFTC reported the managed money speculators had bought some 9,500 contracts last week, collectively moving them from a long-standing net short position to one of being net long. We think this is the first time speculators have been net long since right after the tariffs were implemented on China in 2018. Interestingly, as a side note, the 2-year anniversary for those tariffs will be Thursday, June the 11th. For today, support for July cotton stands at 60.70 and then at 60, with resistance at 62.45 and 63.55. Current volume is about 6,695 contracts. Neighbor, here's a complete look at the grains, courtesy of John Tuggle. Call 800-288-4453. Delivered to Corpus Christi, number 2 or better Milo, June delivery. D's plus 85, 768. Houston, D's plus $1 and a dime, 813. And Progresso, 670. Number 2 or better yellow corn to Corpus Christi in June, July plus 60, 391 and a quarter. We'll call Progresso 409. Number 1 hard red winter wheat to Corpus in June, July plus 85, 546 and a quarter. Calling Houston, July plus 125, 81 and 3/4. We'll call number 1 beans to Houston, June, July delivery, July less 55, 812 and 3/4. Neighbor, we moved 4,472 bale of East Texas, 2,589 bale of West Texas. Prices range from $56.79 to $59.29. Neighbor, looks to me like that's all the time I've got for this edition of our program. Of course, I call it Down on the Farm, and they call me Larry Marble, and I call you my neighbor. And I've been doing that for over 25 years now, and I hope I get to do it for 10 or 15 more. We'll be back with more, and we are always on the web, like this live stream at downonthefarmradio.com.